Hey guys, it's Keto. Growing up, I was always skinny, but despite that fact, I was able to look like this at 17, to look like this at 18, and to look like this at 19, where I am today. So today, I'm going to show you the 5 steps you must take to build muscle and to get insanely jacked as a teenager. We're going to start with step 1. This is the most essential thing you need to get jacked. As I remember when I first started the gym, I'd walk into the gym and I'd just be completely lost. I'd look around, I was so intimidated by everyone. I just didn't know what I was doing at all. I felt like all the eyes were on me and everyone was judging me. And this just made gym just not an enjoyable experience for me. I wouldn't train hard, I couldn't be consistent with it, and I just didn't like it at all. And the main problem I felt, it was like this subconscious problem I didn't really know about, but I didn't actually have a reason for why I was going. I didn't have a why at all. I'd, I'd show up to each session, I'd work out, but I didn't know why. I didn't know why I showed up, why I trained hard, and why I actually went gym. And this was my main problem. I lacked a why, I lacked a goal. And this is the first step here, having a goal. Is this so important to ever show up to the gym and to actually train hard and see progress? You need a goal, you need something to chase. As for me, I remember going to the gym once and about 6 of my mates went. We were all going and we did a bench press competition. We wanted to see who could bench press the most, who was the strongest out of all of us. And for someone who was inconsistent and didn't go to the gym much, I was pretty strong. I got about 60, 70 kg, about 16 years old. I was watching some of my friends the same age as me, some even younger, doing so much better than me. One person did about 90 kg. And at that moment, I started to actually find my goal and find a reason to go gym. Because I wanted to be as strong as everyone else, as they just seemed so cool and like they were benching so much. So I was like, I've got to do that myself. That's what I want to do. And that day, I was able to find the goal. The goal was 100 kg bench press. This is what everyone was chasing. And I think it's such a great gym goal. As whenever you're talking to people about the gym, one of the first questions they always ask you is, how much do you bench? And when you've got when you can say 100 kg, it feels pretty good. It's quite fulfilling. So that's what I set my goal as. I set it not just in my mind, I writ it down, stuck it on my wall. I had this goal of benching 100 kg. And I gave myself about 6 months to do it or so. And with this goal, I got so motivated in the gym. This was so important, the most essential part. As I started to show up to workouts, I started to become consistent, as I could always think about this goal. I trained harder, I was more motivated, everything was just working so much better, just because I had a goal. And I think that's the first step, that's exactly what you need to do. You need to know where you're going, you need to know the destination you want to achieve. You may have one in mind right now. You may be thinking 80 kg, maybe 10 pull-ups, 100 kg deadlift. But if you don't, I'd say the best goal to set is 100 kg bench press. This is just a great goal to have. And once we have our goal, we come to our second step. And this separates the people who say they want to do something to the ones that actually do it. As there's so many people I've met where we be talking about the gym, we'll be just having general conversation. And they'll be saying, oh, I want to get jacked, I want to get in great shape. But you meet them 6 months later and they look the exact same they did 6 months before. And it's all down to the plan and what they're actually doing. As so many people have this goal in mind, they actually do step 1. They say, I want to lose 10 pounds, I want to do this, I want to do that. But they never do it. And it's all because of a plan. Just how I imagine it, it's like a road trip. Say you're driving to 5 hours away. First, you need your sat nav and you need your destination. Okay, I want to get to this mountain or something. Then what you need your route. This is your plan. This is your navigation. And it's what you need to do next. You need to look at a route and work out the best route. As for me, for a long time, I actually didn't have a plan. I remember I was doing boxing, I was going to the gym, I was doing running, I was doing about 10 things at once. My goal, what I wanted to do was get jacked. But I didn't have a plan of how I was going to get there. Instead, I was doing all these random things. And until I actually got rid of the fluff, I stopped doing the boxing. I stopped doing all these things that weren't helping me with the goal that I wanted to achieve. That's when I started to see progress. As I started to have this plan, just this simple plan that I could stick to every single day to get to that goal and actually see progress. And within the next few steps, I'm going to show you how we can make a plan, like the training, the diet, everything we need. But for now, I just want you to keep this mentality in mind of sticking to the plan, creating a plan, having your goal and working out how you're going to get there. And then just doing it, just implementing this plan, not changing up, doing different things, changing my plan every week. I've been one of those guys that do it all the time. Every week, one week I'll be bulking, the next week I'll be cutting, the next week I'll be maintaining. I'll keep changing. But instead, we need a plan. We need a goal. We need a plan. And we need to stick to it. We need to enforce this mentality. That's why it's the second step. Is if we can stick to this plan, even when it gets boring, when it gets dull, even when we don't want to do it, if we can stay stuck to this plan, we will achieve that end result. We will achieve that goal. It's like you just will always do it. If the plan's good enough, you will get that goal that you need. Now we come to step 3, and this is where we actually put the plan into action. As I remember so many times where I went to the gym and I would do this really weird training. I'd always try and make everything optimal, the most science-based lifting ever. And the problem with that was I was doing exercises that didn't even feel like they were working. Like I'd do a JPG lat pull down where you'd like grab a cable and you'd pull. It was meant to grow your lats. But the thing is, I never actually felt it. Every time I did it, it just felt normal. Like it hurt my bicep, my forearm a bit, but I didn't feel it where I was meant to feel it. And looking back on it now, that was such a silly thing to do. I was doing all these exercises just for the sake of it, because someone online said it was really good to do. But it didn't feel good at all. So what I'd do instead is do what you actually enjoy, what feels good. Obviously, you can listen to the science. If a science, like say Jeff Nippard says, this exercise is so good, it's amazing, you should do this exercise, it's so good for your triceps. You try it out and it feels amazing, it feels brilliant. Obviously do that exercise, you're going to see good results. But if he says do this exercise and you do it and it feels awful, you don't feel it at all, then just don't do it. Do exercises you enjoy. And that's the first thing I needed to know about training. But the second thing was all about the split. What training split was actually best? And I've thought about this a lot. I've tried loads like push, pull legs, upper, lower, full body, all these different ones I've tried. But to be a young guy and to actually get jacked, there's certain things you need to have this aesthetic jacked looking body. And the first thing is a V-taper. What this is where your shoulders are wide, your shoulders are sticking out, but then your waist is narrow. And you see it with movie stars all the time. They'll be out here, their shoulders will be out, but then they'll be lean at the bottom. They'll be proper chiseled and narrow at the waist. And the other thing is big arms. If you have this V-taper physique and your arms were just not that big, were quite skinny, you wouldn't look very good with it. It wouldn't be as good. Versus if you have big arms where like you can see your arms throughout your shirt, like they're massive, then you'll get this really jacked, insane aesthetic look. Don't get me wrong, legs are important. You don't want these super skinny legs where you've never trained them before. But you don't need insanely jacked legs. Like, no one really cares that much, as long as they're a decent size. So if we're optimizing for this, we're trying to get this jacked aesthetic, like young man look that most people want. The best split I've ever found is the Arnold split, where you do chest and back, arms, and then legs if you want. But the legs is optional. You don't even have to do the legs. As doing chest and back, you can prioritize growing your chest, getting a big upper chest up here, and even some big lats and a big back, giving you that V-taper look. Then you can have a full day where you prioritize arms. All you do is arm training, so you can grow your arms and make them look big. So what a typical week of training can look like is on Monday, chest and back. You start with chest, you do 2 to 3 exercises, and then 2 to 3 exercises of back. Then on Tuesday, you do arms. So you start with maybe shoulders, then you go to triceps, biceps, and then a bit of forearms. And then Wednesday, you can either rest, do legs. And Thursday, you should start with chest and back again. But instead, today you do back first. You train your back and prioritize that. Then you do your chest second. And Friday, you can do arms again. But here you train your triceps first instead of your shoulders. And you can train forearms again, just one exercise. And you'll get jacked arms, a jacked upper body, exactly what you want. And then you can train legs when you want to. You don't have to do it every day. It's not, like, it's important. You want big legs, but you don't need it. And doing this has allowed me to get in the best shape I've ever felt in, because it's allowed me to have bigger arms, bigger shoulders, to look just more of how I want to look. Instead of being all around more muscular, I'm more muscular in the areas that I want to be muscular, which just makes it amazing. And it's exactly what I'd recommend for you too. And now we come to step 4. And this is honestly the make or break if you're going to see progress and build muscle. And when I first started the gym, I did this all wrong. As I first started, and I thought if I dirty bulk, this is how I'm going to get jacked as fast as possible. As I was this skinny guy and I just needed to build muscle at the time. So I ate every food I could have. I was eating Pringles every day, cookies, biscuits, pizzas, just any food I could get my hands on. I wasn't having a high protein diet. I was just trying to have as many calories as possible. I'd stop off, I'd eat ice cream, loads of peanut butter, all these different things. But the problem I was facing is I was getting bigger, I was getting heavier, I was going up on the scale, but I was gaining a lot of fat. My cheeks were getting chubby and my belly was getting bigger. And you look at a photo of me at like 80, 85, 90 kg, and I just didn't look in good shape. I didn't even look like I really went gym. And this is all because I went about my diet and bulking wrong. As this is definitely not what I should have done, and this is probably my biggest regret of the gym progress. And it just didn't get me the results I wanted in any way, shape, or form. So after I got to about 95 kg, I messed up and I did all this dirty bulking. I like cut all the way back down to 78 kg. I lost all the weight and I was lean, I was shredded. And I decided I'm going to bulk again. I'm going to gain muscle, but I'm not going to do it that same way. Instead, I'm going to do lean bulking this time. Instead of eating a calorie surplus, like a really big one, as what I was doing, I was eating. So my maintenance was about 2,500 calories. That's how much energy I burnt each day. And I was eating about 4,000 calories. So I was having about a 1,500 calorie surplus. This is a lot and it made me gain weight very quickly. But for lean bulking, what I did is I reduced it. I only ate about a 300 calorie surplus. I ate 300 calories more than I burned each day. And to find out like the best calorie surplus for you, click the link in the description and there's a lean bulking course where I can break this all down for you. But eating that 300 calorie surplus was so helpful as I gained muscle, I got bigger, I got a lot stronger. But I didn't gain fat like I did before. Instead, I stayed lean. I gained a little bit of fat, don't get me wrong, but I kept my abs the whole time and I still felt shredded. So by the end of my lean bulk, and when I finished it all, I didn't have to cut after, I didn't have to do anything. Instead, I was in really good shape. I was really muscular and I felt amazing. So this is exactly what I recommend for diet, doing this lean bulking. I want you eating healthy whole foods, having chicken, rice, have protein shakes and stuff like that, but peanut butter. But try eat healthy foods. You know what I mean? Like the vegetables, the fruit, foods that are good for you. Don't have your pizzas, your chocolates, all the really junk foods. Avoid those. And don't try justify it saying, I'm bulking, I can eat a pizza. As it just doesn't work well. It's not helpful for you at all. Instead, eat healthy foods. And with that, just try track your calories every day. Have a high amount of protein. Try to eat 1 gram per 1 pound of body weight. So I weigh 180 pounds. I want to eat 180 grams of protein a day. When you're eating chicken, different meats, and you're drinking protein shakes, that isn't too hard to do. It's decently achievable. And doing these two exact things really helped me get jacked. As I did the training, I had the goal, I did the plan, I did all the first steps, but I never got jacked until I dialed in my diet. And there's a free lean bulking course in the description that can help you so much with that. And we come to step 5. This is one of the most important things. Without this, nothing will work. As I remember, like when I first started the gym, I was such a on and off type of person. One day I'd be super motivated, I'd go to the gym. But for the next 5 days, I wouldn't go at all. And I kept just working off motivation. I kept being like, I really want to go gym today. I can't be asked today. And I kept just working like that. And it didn't work at all. I wasn't seeing any good progress. It wasn't good. And what I needed was actually consistency. I needed to show up to the gym every single day and just make progress, to just keep going and going. And if you follow the first 2 steps, having the goal and having the plan, you're going to get a lot closer to being consistent. And once you're going to still like miss days you're not going to be bothered, but never miss 2 days in a row. This is one of the best bits of advice. To create a habit, to be consistent, you never want to miss 2 days in a row. Instead, have your goal, have your plan, and stay consistent to it. Okay, maybe you miss one day you can't be asked, you're too busy to go, but make sure you go the next day. Always be as consistent as possible. Never give up, never stop trying with it. As when you're consistent, this is when you're actually going to see progress. This is so important, like the most important step. As all 5 steps, the goal, the plan, the training, the diet, and the consistency, they're all so essential. If you remove even one of these steps, you're not going to see the progress you need. All 5 are so important. And in the link in the description of this video, I have a free lean bolting course to help you with your diet, which is one of the hardest steps that everyone has, as it's so hard to actually know what the right diet is. So click the link in the description now to find the lean bolting course. But apart from that, consistency is so important. And in this video here, I talk all about it and exactly how you become more consistent, just here.